Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastava. Today we are going to study the topic protected cultivation. Before presentation, I would like to introduce myself. I am Vijay Kumar Srivastava. I have done MSc Agriculture with specialization in agronomy, and presently I am associated with seed industry. My channel is aiming at students who are preparing for various agriculture and other competitive exams, and my aim is to provide them the best contents. Hope this will be useful to all of you. So let's proceed to the presentation, protected cultivation. Protected cultivation is a technique wherein the microclimate around the plant is controlled fully, partially, or modified to protect the crop from adverse weather conditions. The protected cultivation ensures conservation of soil moisture and efficient use of energy, mainly solar power. With the globalization of markets, shrinking lands, and climate change, the protected cultivation of high-value crops has emerged as the single most important technology for ensuring high productivity, improved quality, and profitable returns. Now to study the definition of protected cultivation. Protected cultivation refers to agriculture with human interventions that create favorable conditions around the cultivated plants. Protected cultivation is a process of growing crops in a controlled environment. This means that the temperature, humidity, light, and such other factors can be regulated as per requirement of the crop. Now the scope of protected cultivation. Plants in open field conditions experience short cropping season, unfavorable climatic conditions where too cold, too hot, too dry, and cloudy ambient conditions are impairing photosynthetic activities, which are vulnerable to predators, pests, weeds, depleted soil moisture, and plant nutrient supply. In protected agriculture, one or more of these factors are controlled or altered to the advantages of plants, where usually factors such as temperature, carbon dioxide concentration, relative humidity, access to insects and pests are controlled to desirable limit. The factors controlled and range of control is dictated by devices chosen and fitted on the structure. For economic reasons, protection or control is provided against the most significant stresses. Structures and environment control measures employed isolate this cultivated space, allowing cultivation in unfavorable ambient conditions in reasonably close to optimal conditions. Protected cultivation is also referred as greenhouse cultivation. Protected cultivation is the area where production of horticultural crops, vegetable crops has improved qualitatively and quantitatively. In protected cultivation, we are going for the high value crops because of high investment. So the main focus is getting the optimum return on investment. So the vegetable and horticultural crops are mainly focused in case of protected cultivation. Now, what is the necessity of protected cultivation? Because of having restraints of land holding, a small land holding size of the farmers, there is rapid urbanization. Agricultural lands are reducing day by day. There is decreasing crop production because of different biotic abiotic factors. There is decreasing biodiversity, ever increasing population, which is creating the demand of the food supply, and these factors have increased multiple and protected cultivation scope. These factors have offered a new dimensions to produce more in a limited area. Houses can also be utilized for rainwater harvesting. So, because of these factors, there is need to move for the protected cultivation to get the higher yields in artificial management conditions. Principles of protected cultivation. Basic principles involved in protected agriculture are greenhouse effect for heating, cultivated space using sun rays, ventilation for cooling air, and carbon dioxide regulation. Cultivated area is isolated and covered with plastic film or glass, which is transparent to incoming shortwave radiation from the sun impinging on outer surface, but opaque partially to emergent long-wave infrared radiation from soil, plant, and structural surfaces, thereby trapping the heat. As a result, enclosed space maintains higher temperature than the ambient. However, trapped heat is gradually dissipated through conduction, convection, ventilation, and radiation. By incorporating heat sinks, reduced ventilation, and application of radiation shields, either the rate of cooling is slowed down or a supplemental heat source placed inside. In summer months, when sun is too bright and ambient too hot, shading, natural force ventilation, evaporative cooling prevents excessive temperature buildup. So these are the principles of protected cultivation. Objectives of protected cultivation. There are various objectives about which we will discuss here, like protection of plants from abiotic stresses, which includes physical or non-living organisms such as temperature, excess or deficit water, hot and cold waves. While the biotic factors includes pest and disease incidences. Other objectives are efficient water use with minimum weed infestation, enhancing productivity per unit area, minimizing the use of pesticides in crop production, of high value quality horticulture produced in protected cultivation because of high investments, propagation of planting material to improve germination percentage, healthy, uniform, disease-free planting material and better hardening. The objective is of year-round and off-season production of flower, vegetables or fruit crops. And there should be production of disease-free and genetically better transplants. So these are the various objectives of protected cultivation. Advantages of protected cultivation. There is high productivity under unfavorable agroclimatic conditions because of controlled production environment. The productivity level could be significantly higher, sometimes 2-3 times of that in open field cultivations. Quality of produce is usually superior because of isolation and controls. There will be higher input use efficiency and income per unit area significantly increases, and there will be year-round production and easier plant protection and less pesticides usage. Here to study the crops which are suitable in protected cultivation. The horticulture crops are grouped in 4 categories like flowers, vegetables, fruits, seedling and nurseries. Under flowers, the suitable crops are chrysanthemum, carnation, gerbera, rose, lilium, orchid, gladioli, and under vegetables, the crops which are grown like tomato, capsicum, cucumber, broccoli, cabbage, leafy vegetables, radish and cauliflower. Under fruits, we can go strawberry. Under seedling and nurseries, there are vegetables, flowers, tissue cultures, clonal for forestry, fruit crafting for lemon, citrus, mango, pomegranate, guava, lychee, etc. Now methods of protected cultivation. There are various methods like mulching, polyhouse or greenhouse cultivation, zero energy naturally ventilated greenhouses, low tunnels, walk-in tunnels, shade nets, insect-proof net houses, hydroponics, nutrient film technique NFT, event flow systems, drip systems, and aeroponics are used as protected cultivation. And now we will study in details about each method. First type of protected cultivation is mulching. Mulching is the process of covering the soil to create favorable conditions for plant growth and development and to increase crop yield and soil conservation. In mulching, the covering materials could be natural like leaves, straw, sawdust, peat moss, compost, gravel, etc., or synthetic like polyethylene and PVC of different colors. Generally, black color is preferred and thickness depending upon ambient conditions and effects desired for the cultivation. There are various advantages of mulching like conservation of soil moisture, improving fertility and health of the soil, controlling weed growth, retaining moisture for longer period, improving soil condition and prevent soil erosion. It repels insects and cause increase in yield. There will be early crop harvesting. Mulching will enhance the visual appeal of the area and keep the roots and bulbs of the crop cool in summer and warm in the winter. So it is maintaining the requirement of the crop. Mulching will prevent frost heaving in winter season and there will be enrichment of carbon dioxide around plant root zone. Next protected cultivation method is polyhouse or greenhouse cultivation. It is a framed or inflated structure using transparent or transparent cover that creates greenhouse effect, allowing at least partial control on crop microclimate and is large enough to permit a person to work inside. The air temperature rise inside polyhouse and greenhouse during winter and it is utilized to grow nurseries, planting materials and crops without supplementary heat. The enclosed space through controlled ventilation permits enrichment of air inside with higher carbon dioxide concentration, which enhances crop productivity. Relative humidity and temperature can be raised or lowered than ambient through shading and evaporative cooling or air conditioning. If economics permits, practically any crop can be grown in greenhouse or polyhouses. However, off-season vegetables and nurseries are found quite remunerative because in polyhouse or greenhouse there is higher side investment, so return on investment is anticipated also higher side. It is a very intensive method of cultivation that has very high productivity per unit area, yields superior quality, exportable produce with higher market prices. Next method of protected cultivation is zero energy naturally ventilated greenhouses. Naturally ventilated greenhouses are the protected structure where no heating or cooling devices are provided for climate control. And these are used for high value vegetable cultivation. These are simple and medium cost greenhouses which can be erected with a cost of rupees 650 to 700 rupees per square meter, and these greenhouses can be used successfully and efficiently for growing year-round parthenocarpic slicing cucumber, off-season muskmelon, tomato crop, sweet pepper crops for the duration of 8 to 9 months. Muskmelon is the second crop which can be successfully cultivated for its complete off-season availability, which can fetch very high price of the off-season produce in the up markets of the metro and big cities of the northern part of the country. Similarly, high value vegetable crops like standard tomatoes, cherry tomatoes and colored peppers are three crops which can be grown for long duration, having the duration of 8 to 10 months period under naturally ventilated greenhouse cultivations. Next method of protected cultivation is low tunnels. Low tunnels generally cover rows of plants in the fields, providing protection against low temperature and frost, winds and insect pests. Low tunnel provides a passive control of plant microclimate. If a plastic mulches and a drip irrigation is connected with low tunnels, it will having the better effect. Plastic low tunnels are flexible, transparent coverings that are installed over single or multiple rows of vegetables to enhance the plant growth by warming the air around the plants in the open fields during winter season when the temperature is below 8 degrees centigrade. Plastic low tunnel technology is a simple and profitable technology for off-season cultivation of cucurbits during the winter season in northern plains of the country. Crops like summer squash can be grown as a complete off-season crop, whereas other cucurbits like muskmelon, round melon, bottle gourd, cucumber, bitter gourd, watermelon can be advanced by 30 to 40 days over their normal growing season. Next method is walk-in tunnels. Off-season vegetables cultivation is preferred in walk-in tunnel method. The basic objectives and utility of walk-in tunnels is to fetch high price of the complete off-season produce to earn more profit per unit area. Walk-in tunnels are the temporary structures erected by using GI pipes and transparent plastic. Walk-in tunnels are used for complete off-season cultivation of vegetables like bottle gourd, summer squash, cucumber, etc. during winter season, which are for the period from December to mid-February. The ideal size of a walk-in tunnel is of 4 meters width and 30 meter length, and total cost of fabrication may be around 12,000 to 14,000 rupees. Next method of protected cultivation is shade nets. Shade nets are perforated plastic materials which are used to cut down the solar radiation and prevent a scorching or wilting of leaves caused by marked temperature increases within the leaf tissue from strong sunlight. These nets are available in different shading intensities which are ranging from 25% to 75%. The basic objective of shade net is to reduce radiation and temperature up to some extent during critical summer months from May to September. Leafy vegetables and ornamental green plants are recommended to be grown under shade nets, whose growth rate are significantly enhanced compared to unshaded plants when sunlight is strong. Black color shade nets are most efficient in reduction of temperature compared to other colors like green, white or silver, as the black color is the maximum absorbent of heat. Mostly leafy vegetables like beet leaf and green coriander are preferred to be grown under the shade nets, but it is also suitable for growing early cauliflower radish cultivation during June to September months. Another method is insect-proof net houses. Usually the farmers are growing their vegetable crops like tomato, chili, sweet pepper, okra, etc. under open fields. But during rainy and post-rainy season, it is very difficult to grow these crops successfully in North Indian plains due to leaf curl and yellow vein mosaic viruses respectively. These viruses are mainly spreaded by insect vectors like whiteflies, aphids, thrips, jascids and sometimes also by hoppers. The only way to manage the virus and fruit borer is to put a mechanical barrier between the crops and open environment, and this is possible with the use of insect-proof nets of 40 or 50 meshes in form of net houses or insect-proof net-covered walk-in tunnels. The farmers are using several insecticides for several sprays to control these vectors. Even they couldn't control these vectors and their tomato, chili or okra crops are highly infected with viruses. The second most common and most severe problem in tomato, brinjal and okra is the fruit borer, against which the growers are using huge amount of insecticides. Even they are unable to control these insects. By using insect-proof net houses, the grower can directly reduce the use of insecticides and they can grow virus-free crops of tomato, chili, sweet pepper and during rainy or post-rainy season. Now hydroponics method of protected cultivation. The word hydroponics comes from two Greek words, hydro which means water and ponics means labor, means of hydroponics is the working with water. Hydroponics by definition is a method of growing plants in a water-based nutrient-rich solution. Hydroponics does not use soil. Instead, the root system is supported using an inert medium such as perlite, rock wool, clay pellets, peat moss, or vermiculite. Now the process of hydroponics working. Hydroponics is a branch of agriculture where plants are grown without the use of soil. The nutrients that the plants normally derive from the soil are simply dissolved into water. Instead, and depending upon the hydroponic system used, the plant's roots are suspended in, flooded with, or misted with the nutrient solution so that the plant can derive the elements it needed for the growth. Next protected cultivation method is nutrient film technique, NFT. It is a water-based system that requires no soil or medium. Plants are grown with roots contained in a plastic film, trough or PVC pipe. Nutrient-laden water is recirculated through the system, bathing the roots of the plants. This system is still popular for short-term crops such as lettuce and leafy vegetables, where the plants are sold with the roots intact. This system was also popular in the 1990s for several small farm tomato operations in Western countries. Because of the risk of root pathogens being spread throughout the greenhouse once an infection starts, most tomato growers are no longer using recirculating systems unless the system includes some means of sterilizing the water. Next method of protected cultivation is ebb and flow systems. This system requires a medium such as perlite, which serves no purpose other than to provide stability for the plant's roots. The plant derives no nutrients from the medium itself. Ebb and flow system include a tray in which the plant is placed in a medium. Below the tray, in a separate container, is a reservoir containing water and mineral solution. The water from the reservoir is periodically pumped into the tray. This floods the tray and allows the plants to absorb water and nutrients. Gradually, the water drains back into the reservoir due to gravity. Ebb and flow system work best with small plants like herbs and are typically used in a smaller hydroponic setup such as those in the home. Drip hydroponic system. This is the setup almost identically to an ebb and flow system. In this method, instead of water being pumped through one large tube, it is pumped through many small tubes and drains onto the top of the plants. This system is ideal for plants that do not yet have a developed root system, and like an ebb and flow system, works best with smaller plants. Now aeroponics protected cultivation method. Aeroponics is a hydroponic method by which the roots are misted with a nutrient solution while suspended in the air. The entire tray is placed into a box that has a small amount of water and nutrient solution in the bottom. A pump system is used to draw the water up, where it is sprayed on a fine mist onto the entire plant and root in a continuous manner. This system is the most difficult to set up and manage, but it has great potential for large commercial usage. So, in this method, the nutrients are supplied in the form of mist to the open roots. Now to study the limitations of protected cultivation. In protected cultivation, there is high cost of initial infrastructure, so there will be need of capital cost. Non-availability of a skilled human power and their replacement locally is one of the concern. Lack of technical knowledge of growing crops under protected measures is faced everywhere. All the operations are very intensive and require constant efforts for the management. Protected cultivation requires close supervision and monitoring systems. A few pests and soil-borne pathogens are difficult to manage, and The repair and maintenance are major hurdles because it breaks the system and it requires assured marketing since the investment of resources like time, effort, and funds is expected to be very high. Now to study the focus of area for problem management in protected cultivation. The failure to supply the essential factors for optimum growth such as light, moisture, carbon dioxide, and heat in amounts necessary for each individual crops. So there should have technical knowledge, skilled labors for the management of protected cultivation methods. We have to face the problems of fertilizer deficiencies. So it should be supplied in adequate quantities as per the crop requirement. We have to think about excess use of fertilizers. It should be under control. And we have to manage the toxic gases which are released after the cultivation in different types of protected cultivation methods. There may be attacks by insects, animals, and allied pests, and there will be susceptibility to fungus, bacteria, and virus trouble. So these problems should be addressed in a quite well manner and timely. So these are the concerns for the protected cultivation as problem management is concerned. So this presentation was all about protected cultivation. Hope this will be useful to all of you. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details, Journey with Vijay Kumar Srivastava. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it, and provide your kind and valuable feedback. Thank you.